As one of the highest producing final expense agents in the country, the one thing that I've learned while selling insurance is that you've got to have props. And what I mean when I say props is, what I'm really talking about is the exact sales materials and presentation materials that I use and that I would recommend all of our agents use while making a final expense sales presentation. And if you're thinking about giving the video a thumbs up, yeah, now would be a great time for that. And make sure to subscribe with the notifications turned on, and who knows, maybe we can be pals. One of the worst things that you can do as a life insurance agent is to get in your car and go out to sell insurance only to be lacking in the sales presentation department, really. When we're noobs, most of us need all the help that we can get, and having a strong presentation along with using the right visualization, sales props, and materials can really make the difference, honestly, between us making it in the business or just flat out failing. And that's whether you're selling final expense or Medicare Advantage. Selling Medicare Advantage is definitely easier due to the fact that most of the people that are final expense and Medicare leads target are actually really low income folks, and they don't have to pay an out-of-pocket monthly premium for these products. Well, for the Medicare Advantage, they don't have to pay. I know, pretty sweet, right? Just imagine selling a product that people absolutely have to have and they don't have to pay for. That's as easy as it gets. However, we're talking final expense, so let's just get into it. One of the first props that I like to share during my presentation is the guarantees of whole life insurance. Now, would you like a copy of some of the sales materials that I'm about to share in this video? Not a problem. Just stick around until the end, and I'm going to show you how to get my free prop file so that you can use it for yourself. It doesn't have everything that I'm going to share with you in this video, but it definitely has at least a few of the tools that you're definitely going to want to use. Now, at some point in every final expense presentation, what I do is explain to my prospects that I understand how they're getting all kinds of stuff in the mail from all these different insurance companies and how I can relate to them, getting the phone calls of people trying to sell them stuff all the time, and like how the life insurance and the final expense insurance TV commercials are all kind of misleading, by the way that they give those bait and switch prices, and how much of that stuff doesn't even fully insure them until like they've paid after 2 or even 3 years with some of those products. I explained to them that what I do is completely different, as I only believe in whole life insurance. And that is when I pull out the guarantees of whole life insurance and go over it line by line with them. I love reading the bottom line to them where it says, this is not like term life insurance where the price goes up and it expires when you hit a certain age and you get nothing in return. That's just super strong, dog. Another really good prop that I use is the 8 reasons concerned seniors purchase final expense plans. And what I do is I laminate it to the back of I Am Your Policy, so they're back to back. While I'm figuring out the product that I'm going to sell them, I'll simply tell them to grab your glasses, Mr. Jones, and then what I'll do is I'll ask them to read both sides of the card. Now, think about it. That way, instead of them getting up and maybe starting to wander around and putting their attention elsewhere, what I'm doing is I'm figuring out the rates and I'm writing down the death benefits, and now they're actually paying attention to me, and they stay seated, and what they'll do is they'll read both of these highly suggestive pieces of sales materials. My experience with having them read both of these is that they will tend to be more open to buying the insurance because these things actually help them to convince themselves, I think that's the best way to put it, that they're better off having the insurance than not having the insurance. And I'll also use my pricing page, which is pretty simple, and this is where I write down the 5 options that I show them during the close. And I also have 4 more items that I give to the client or at least share with them once I've closed the sale, of course, and made them my new client. Remember, we are using these visual aids and forms that I'm about to share with you for 2 reasons. Very important. 1, they absolutely help you to build rapport, and 2, 2, they're highly suggestive and almost hypnotic in a manner which, well, how do I describe this, can only help you to close more sales, really. And they're also a great way to help build value in the sale and to help prevent buyer's remorse too. So how do we easily accomplish this correctly? First, I leave them with the Social Security calendar, and I mark it with the days that the insurance company is going to be drafting each payment month to month. The thing is, I find that, well, this helps them to feel confident that the payment will only draft when it's actually supposed to. And for those of you that are thinking, well, the payment should only draft on the day the client says, for it to draft, the day the client tells us to draft it. Nah, dude, that's wrong. The payment should always draft on the exact day that your client gets their Social Security benefits. And when I say that, the day that it gets direct deposited into their checking account. Not one day earlier and never a day late. The calendar will show you what months your clients get their money. And what's cool about this calendar is it's going to show you and them exactly what months your clients get their money early. Because keep in mind, if you don't realize this, when they're receiving their money on the 3rd of the month, for instance, and the 3rd of the month actually falls on a Saturday, they're going to get their money earlier, the last business day of the week, which would be Friday the 2nd. I also like to leave them with a copy of the last will and testament, along with a copy of a living will. And I always let them know that they can use these to write down their final wishes, but I always recommend that they fill these things out with the assistance of a family member who they can absolutely trust. I let them know that I'm only licensed for the insurance part and I'm not legally supposed to help them with their wills. Finally, I write down the monthly payment and the draft date on the policy summary. Now, the policy summary, it's got my name on it, my phone number on it, and what I do is read the first part of this form out loud to them where it reiterates the guarantees of whole life insurance. The price will never go up. The death benefit will never go down. The policy does accumulate cash value, and then what I'll do is I'll give them a brief explanation of exactly how cash value builds up in the policy and how it works. And then all that's left to do is pretty much clip everything together, or what you can do is use a folder. Now, you can have custom folders printed out with your little company logo on for, I don't know, around $3 a piece. I go over the carrier's brochure of the product that I sold them and go over my business card with them. Yeah, I even read that out loud to them. I let them know that as soon as they're approved, I'll be sending them a thank you card and we'll be in contact with them when it's time to go over the actual policy. And now I've set up a perfect opportunity to deliver the policy, and guess what? Yeah, get easy referrals. For a copy of the prop file I mentioned earlier in the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. Now, for more information on learning how to become a top producing final expense and or Medicare Advantage agent, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.